Good afternoon, dear students. Welcome back to Web Technology Theory class. So today's session we will be discussing about HTML web design using CSS Box Model and its properties. The last few classes we were actually discussing about how we can create a HTML website design using HTML programming and CSS for styling, right? So we have started the introduction about CSS, and today also we are going to continue the session on CSS box model and its properties. Can you see the screen clearly? Okay, fine. So coming to the CSS box model is actually very important box layout or a model structure by which the website content is actually organized. Especially in CSS, box model is actually used to actually very much useful for styling the various properties related to the box particular content. Okay, so we'll start with the introduction about box model. So before we start box model, first of all you should understand the difference between there are two types of elements in HTML web page called block level element, and we have inline elements. So every HTML element that you are creating inside a website, for example, it may be a heading tag or a paragraph tag or a div element, it belongs to a particular category called inline element or a block level element. So there are two types of ways we can display the content. One is inline. Inline means horizontally you can display. Block means vertically you can display. In block level element, the block level element occupies the entire width of the screen. Okay, so that is actually the difference between the block level element and inline element. Whereas inline element, side by side it will be placed. Okay. So first coming to the block level element, for example, if you take a div tag. So if when you are creating a div content using div tag, it is actually a block level element category. So it will starts on a new line. Every time it starts on a new line, and it takes a full width screen size to occupy the content. Okay. So if you create a div element and this hello world occupy the entire screen width. So that is actually the concept of block level element. So there are so many examples for block level element. For example, heading tag h1 to h6, all these tags are actually block level element. And paragraph tag p tag, this is also a block level element. The paragraph tag also it will take the vertical order. Okay, block by block it will be displayed, and it will occupy the entire screen width also. And we have a div tag, table tag, form tag, HR line, horizontal line, ruler, that is also a block level element. And list tag, UL tag, OL tag, and not limited to this, there are so many other types of tags actually belongs to block level elements. Then comes to inline elements, another variant where the inline elements are actually it is not vertical order, it is a horizontally the content will be displayed based on the inline element. If you are using any inline tag, for example, hyperlink is a inline tag. For example, another example, if you take IMG tag, the image tag, if you want to display a image in a web page, you have to use IMG tag, right? So IMG tag is actually belongs to inline tag. Okay, so an inline element does not start on a new line. Okay, and only takes up as much width as necessary. It means the width of the element is actually depends on the content that you are including inside. For example, here I have one example called span tag. So span tag is actually basically it is a inline tag. So if you put some content inside span tag, only that the width is actually with respect to the content. The width of the element is occupied only with respect to the content. The next span tag will be coming in the same line. That's why it is called as inline. So some of the other examples we have hyperlink tag is an inline element, abbreviation tag, acronym tag, bold tag is inline element, and followed by button already we discussed, right? Button tag is also inline element, IMG tag, I tag, EM tag, label tag that we are using in the form. When you are creating a form design, you have to use a label, right? So that is also inline element. and script tag, select tag is inline element, small is inline element. Okay, so these are the examples of inline element. Okay, so in what is the major difference between this one block and inline element is, in inline element width and height is actually only with respect to the content. You cannot change the width and height of the inline element. That is only the difference, remaining all same. Remaining means there is one more difference is inline element horizontally placed and block level element is vertically placed. Okay, and apart from this difference, the basic difference between block level element and inline element is the width and height property you cannot change for the inline element, but in the case of block level element you can change the width and height. Okay, right. So how we can change those properties? Okay, how we can modify this? So right now we discuss about what are the category, right? Inline element and block level element. So in CSS there is a feature called, there is a one property called display. Using display property we can change any element property from block to inline or inline to block. For example, if you take a tag, we can able to change this, change the inline property to block level element. Okay, we can change the hyperlink as a block level element. Similarly, if it is a block level element, we can change it to inline element. So that is actually possible with the help of, there is a property called display property. Okay, so using display we can convert a block level element to inline element to block level element. The same way also we can remove the element from the web page also using by setting the value as none. When you set the value as none, the element will be removed from the web page. Similarly, we can also convert as a inline, we can also convert as a block. And one more special category is called inline block. So this is a special category called inline block. Inline block means like you will be getting the features of block level element as well as you will be getting features of inline element. Basically it is a inline with the block level properties. So it's an inline element, but we can use width and height for this inline block. Okay, so we'll see one example how we can use these all these properties. So I have a program here. Can you see it? See the program in NetBeans? Okay, so here I have created 3 boxes. Okay, and I have given a class name, different class name for each box. And when I run the program, this is output. Okay, here you can see I'm getting a box 1, box 2, box 3. Okay, so now I'm going to apply some CSS property. For example, the whole property I'm going to apply here is, I'm going to apply some width. Okay, so otherwise I'll leave it. Width is not, will come later. Okay, so I'm going to apply some height. So height is actually I'm going to set as actually 100 pixel height. So when I save that, see 100 pixel height is taken. So box 1 automatically, box 1, box 2 is actually the size is increased, height is increased. Okay, you can notice that. The same way I'm going to set some different background color for this each box. Background color I'm going to set for first one is red, and remaining box I'm going to modify. Right, so this is actually I'm going to put as green, and next one is yellow. Otherwise we'll put as blue. Okay, so now when I save that program, now look at that, box 1, box 2, box 3 element is actually the default layout is like this. Okay, why? We know that div element is a block level element. It will come in a vertical order, line by line only it will be displayed. So this property we can change. Okay, how we can change? For example, you can use how you can change using a CSS property called display. Okay, so you have to use a display property. By actually currently the default behavior of div element is block. Okay, you can set block, but of course it is a default only, nothing is changed. Okay, so if you see that I will just maximize. If I maximize, you can see the entire screen width, it's occupied by box 1, box 2, and box 1 is not allowing any other content nearby side, okay, right side. It is occupying the entire space of the web page, okay. And the same thing we can convert from inline to, so you can always convert from block level element to inline element. For that you have to use display. Instead of block you have to say that inline. So when you say inline, now see it is changed. The content is actually, you can notice that the content is almost changed. Instead of vertical order, it's coming horizontally, it's placed. So inline is coming like this. So any HTML element display property you can change from block level element to inline element like this, okay. And look at that. Here I have applied 100 pixel height, right? 100 pixel height. That height is not applied here. Why? So that is a difference. Inline element and block level element, the height and width you cannot change, okay. But of course you can change margin, padding and all you can change. Only this width and height will not be applicable for inline element. But still if you want to apply height and width property, you have to go for example, still you want to apply width and height as well as you want inline also. You can go for, there is a special concept called inline block. You can use inline block similar to inline with block properties, okay. So what you have to do is you have to change the inline to inline hyphen block. So now you can achieve both inline property as well as block level property. See, it is inline, in horizontally only is coming. The same time height is applied. So this is the difference between inline block and inline block. And similarly if you want to remove a particular element, for example I want to remove this B1, so you can say that display colon none. So now see that box 1 is removed from the web page itself. So by using display none you can completely remove the item from the HTML page. You can completely remove the item, okay. And if you want to bring it, you have to again change this to a block. You have to remove this property, okay. If you remove this property you can bring that element again. Now see that the box on properties, box on is included here, okay. So none is used for removing any element from the web page. You can use none property, okay. So in the remaining slide I have explained the same thing only. Display block, how it is displayed, and inline is actually horizontally it will be coming. The width and height is not applicable for this inline boxes, okay. So that is only the difference. And if you want to apply width and height for inline element, change the display property to inline block, so that you can apply the width and height property you can apply, okay. See in this example I have used inline block. So now width and height is applied, 200 pixel, 100 pixel, so different size I can able to create, but of course it is inline only, okay. So this is actually the display property, helps you to change the display behavior of a block level element as well as inline element. Then comes to the CSS box model, okay. So what is CSS box model? So when you see that, if you take any content, now if you see this output, okay, after filling the for example I'll just make it as a block, okay. I'll make it as a block. See now after filling the content, okay, so after displaying the content, if you see that every content is a rectangular or a square box, it's a box. Generally we say that if you see the layout of any content, any tag, it's called as a box, okay. So that's why they called it as a box model properties, okay, box model properties. So any block level element that you are using, block level element or inline block element, you can apply box properties, okay. You can apply box model properties. So now let's see what are the properties we can apply, okay. So boxes you have to imagine like a rectangular box, that's all. That's very simple idea, okay, why it is called as box model, okay. So according to CSS box model, the every element you have to imagine there are some component inside every element, okay. Every element there are some segments, okay. There are some different segments available in the according to box model. If you take a a particular HTML element like div element. For example, the div element contains a content. Content means the actual text or image, or what is the content that you are displaying inside the div element. That is called content. Okay, only we can able to see the content, right? So apart from this content, there are some more properties included for every element. Those properties are called as this one. We have padding, we have border, we have margin, every element, for every element. Okay, so what is meant by padding? Padding is the distance, okay, the space between the content and the border of the div. The space between the content and the border of the div is called padding. The same way border is available. Border is the thickness of the border line. Okay, one border line is available for every box. So based on the thickness, this will increase. Okay, thus the thickness will be increasing the border. Okay, and margin is actually another property. So margin is a space between one div element and another div element, or one paragraph to another div element, or one h1 tag to another div element. It may be any HTML element. Okay, so margin is a space between the HTML element is called as margin. Okay, it means the area outside the border is called as margin. Okay, so more clearly, if you see that, generally we are saying that padding, border, margin. Okay, so you have to imagine there are 4 padding is there, 4 border is there, 4 margin is there. Why? Because it is a rectangular box. Okay, so next slide you can see that. So every box you have to imagine like this. Okay, so there is a content is there, and we have a width is there, height is there, width is there, height is there, and we have a padding top, padding is there. So if you, when you take a padding, you have 4 types of padding: padding top, padding left, padding right, padding bottom. Okay, so since we have 4 sides, these property you have to imagine 4 sides. Okay, so every side is actually specified using top, right, left, bottom. Okay, so that's very simple, right? So padding top means that the top padding. Okay, this one. Padding left is left side, padding right is right side. This is very simple to understand. Okay, padding bottom. The same way we have a border top, border left, border right, border bottom. The same way it is applicable for margin also. We have a margin top, margin left, margin right, margin bottom. Okay, so you have to imagine in this way. Okay, so now coming to, we want to discuss about more detail about the box model. Okay, so as I discussed, as I told you, content is a actual text that you are displaying inside div element is a content. Okay, or any other content you are displaying. Okay, padding is a space between the content and the border. Border is a space between the padding and the margin. Okay, in between only the border is coming. Okay, margin is the empty space between the element and adjacent element. Okay, right? So if you see this diagram, you can clearly understand what is actually margin, padding, and other properties. Okay, for example, if you take a div tag like this. Okay, look at that. Div content area, one content I am typing. So content area is a text that I am displaying using div. Okay, so here this content is actually this particular text. The content area is the text content. Okay, got it? So next, if you say, we can adjust several properties of box model. For example, I can set the margin top 0. So margin hyphen top, how will you do that? Margin hyphen top equal to 0. So you'll be getting 0. And margin right 5 pixels. So you'll be getting 5 pixel margin right side. The bottom 6 pixel and left side 5 pixel. So this is what the margin, how it is actually working, how it is applied for the HTML element. Okay, the same way we have a padding top, padding right, padding bottom, left. Okay, so padding is the space between the content and the border. Okay, that is called padding. Okay, so here 20 is applied, 12 is applied, 30 is applied, 10 is applied. Okay, so based on this CSS rule, those spacing will be applied to the box model. Okay, so applied to the HTML element. Okay, so now let's see one by one. The first one is width and height of the box. So I told width and height is also a box model property. Okay, so for example, here I'm going to take 3 boxes available, right? 3 boxes available. So we can set a different width for each box. Okay, so we can set width and height for each box. For example, here what I'm doing is, okay, let's see background color, let it be like this. Height I have adjusted 100 pixel, right? So similarly we can adjust the width 200 pixel like this. Okay, if I save the program, now look at that, the width is actually, since I have written div element, since I have written this width and height for div, it is applicable for all the element, all the boxes. Okay, so we can adjust the width and height like this. 200, instead of 200 we'll try 300. Now let's see how much it's coming. So this is coming, this much it's coming. Okay, so width and height is one of the property in CSS box model that you have to understand. Okay, it is only applicable for block level elements. Okay, the next properties we are going to see is borders. Okay, we are going to work on borders. Okay, so border properties includes border. It is coming in it is coming in the after the padding, right? So border is actually coming after padding. Okay, so in border there are 3 more properties. One is we can adjust the width, thickness of the border, we can adjust the style of the border, we can adjust the color of the border. Okay, thickness means width. Okay, so we can use border hyphen width in how many pixel value. You can mention pixel, inch, centimeter, or predefined value, thin, medium, thick, or em value you can represent. Okay, and style, then comes style. Style is actually, there are different types of line we can draw. Okay, different types of line we can draw: dotted line, dashed line, solid, double border we can write, we can draw a double border. Groove is another style, ridge is another style, inset is another style. Okay, so these are the different style of a border line. The same way we can set the color of the border, we can also set the color of the border. Okay, so now let's see one example how we can set the border for this div element. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm removing this background color, I'm removing from the div element. Since we are practicing about border styles. Okay, right, so for first I'm taking a box 1. So I have I'll save this box 1. I'm going to take, so box 1 I'm going to apply the border. First one we discuss about width, right? Border width. So we can specify width colon 1 pixel or 2 pixel we can give. Okay, but it is not applied. See, it is not applied. So we have to apply 3 styles. One is border width, next is border style. Border style also we have to apply. Okay, so border style is solid is one type. Solid is one type. Okay, it's coming. See, after applying border style is coming. Why? Because default color is actually black color, right? So default color is applied to the line. So you can see that border line is applied for this box 1. Okay, when I apply border width 1 thickness, if I increase this thickness, for example 2 pixel, now see dark color border is coming, right? And also we can change the border color. To change the border color, you have to say that border hyphen color. Okay, you can mention any color. For example, you can select from here also. Okay, for example, red color line I want to draw. Okay, see, red color border line we can able to generate. Okay, so now you can see that here here comes the border line, you can clearly specify. Okay, and see the thickness you can increase. Okay, the same way for second box I am going to apply the same border property. Okay, but here I am going to change the style. I am going to change the style. Instead of solid, see, solid, when you use solid style, you will be getting a solid line. Another variant is dashed line we can use. So we can use dashed. So when you use dashed line, look at that, you will be getting dashed line. We can also change the color of the line, for example blue instead of red. I'm going to use blue color. Okay, so blue color line, you can see that dashed. Okay, so the difference between solid and dashed is actually like this. Okay, so this way we can control the thickness of the border as well as style of the border as well as the color of the border. Okay, got it? All of you understand this? Okay, so but we have to specify three different properties, right? But there is a one more way we can do that called shorthand property. Shorthand property means using only border property we can set all these three in one line. Shorthand property means like this: border colon. This is called shorthand. Shorthand means shorter way we can write the property. Okay, shorthand version. Okay, shorthand property for border. Okay, right? So according to shorthand property, what we have to do is, instead of writing three lines, we can write it one line, but we have to give values like this. First we have to start with width. Okay, 2 pixel. Then we have to specify the style, whether it is solid or dashed or dotted is there. One more thing is called dotted line is there, and you can mention the color, yellow color. Okay, so this is a shorthand format of border, different border. Instead of applying border differently, so instead of this green I will apply. Okay, so now see the output here. The green color border line is applied. Now look at the pattern. Pattern is actually not dashed. It is a dotted line. Okay, so dotted line. Similarly, double also you can create double border. You can use double. If you use double, you will get double border line. You can see that it's a double bordered line. So there are different styles applied. So these are the different style: dotted, dashed, solid, double, groove, ridge, inset. Inset means like you'll be getting 3D effect like ridge and all. Okay, so different style, you can try that. For example, instead of this solid, I'll try this for green, ridge. So ridge will give the 3D effect. Say, look at that. The difference between, it's a 3D line you'll be getting like this. It's a frame border, like photo frame border line. Border is there, no? That kind of effect you'll get ridge. Okay. So this is actually different types of border, and of course you can set only a particular side also you can apply. There is one more thing is, we can apply to the particular side also. Okay. For example, if I am using border like this, it will apply to the all the four sides. All the four sides it's applied. Okay. So if I want to apply to only to the particular side, I want the left side border alone, we can use like this. So instead of writing like this, okay, so instead of writing like this, sideways we can write border left colon equal to 2 pixel. I want the solid red color. So now see that for box 3, now you can see for box 3 only we applied, right? Box 3 we are getting only left side line. Why? We are not applying to the all the sides, all four sides. If you want to apply all four sides, you have to use border. If you want only left side, you have to use border left. Similarly, it's applicable for border bottom. If you want to write border bottom, okay, so you can change this to border bottom. See, it's applicable only for the bottom side, only the line will be coming. Okay, so depending on the side, which side you want, you can change the style, border line. Okay, right? And one more thing, this CSS property you can you can see that in the browser itself. Okay, now I'm going to show you that in the browser itself you can see the CSS box model property. Now let's see how to do that. Okay, so if you take any web page, okay, there is an option right click, you can right click, and there is an option called inspect. Okay, there is an option called inspect, right? So if when you click inspect option, you will be getting you will be getting a window inside the web page. Look at that. Inside the web page, you will be getting a window. This web page, window you can adjust. You can place it right side. Okay, sorry. I'll put it right side. See, you can click here and you can place it anywhere you want. Okay. So you can here in this inspect element window, you can see the layout of each and every element. You can see that. Look at that. This is a HTML program. Inside body we have 3 div. If I keep the mouse over a particular div, you can see which div we are actually trying to figure out. Okay, you can see that clearly here. And also you can, if I select this particular div, you can see the box model here. If you just scroll, so like this. Okay, if you just scroll it, okay, so the corresponding box model, you can see it in the down. Can you able to see that box model? Respond. Can you see that right side? Look at the right side. This is the box model what we are talking about. Okay, so here I have mentioned box 1. So here I am selecting box 1. So you can see here, if I keep the mouse over the inner box, that is called content. That is called content. And padding is this one. Padding currently we didn't apply. We didn't include any padding. So padding is not there. Hyphen. And see, look at the border. Border is actually, if I select border, you can see the border is selected. Okay, for example, if I keep the mouse over the border line, it is here, it is highlighting. Here you can see that it's highlighting border line. So border is actually 2 pixel thickness. 2 pixel thickness is given for 4 sides. Okay, but if I select this one, the border thickness is given only for bottom. Look at that. If I select third div box, the border is given only for the bottom line. Okay, the same way you can see margin also. See, look at that margin. Margin also we can apply. So you can select one div element and you can see the structure. Okay, you can easily understand the structure and model the box property values also you can see here. Okay, right. So now for every example we can see this. Next we are going to see, this is about border properties. Okay. Okay, so next slide, actually we have we can also set individual border. So border top, border left, border bottom, different colors we can apply. Okay, like this you can create different borders, and different size border we can create. For example, border width, you can mention 5 pixel, 12 pixel, 23 pixel, 10 pixel, like this. So where it will start, that you have to understand. Okay, so in one border width property we can give multiple values. So you have to understand in that way. How you have to understand is, first value start from top. So that is order. Always it starts from top and clockwise direction. Top, clockwise direction. So 5 pixel is coming to top, clockwise direction, right side is 12 pixel. Second value is coming to the right side, and bottom 23 pixel, and left side 10 pixel will be coming. Okay, always start from top, clockwise direction. Okay, so that you have to understand. Then comes to margin property. Okay, so margin property is actually the space between the one div element to another div element. Okay, so now let's see one example how to deal with margin property. Okay, so the same example I will take. So this I will open again later. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this border now to explain the margin property. So I'll remove this border and I'll go back to the background color. So here also I'm going to change the background color instead of border. So this is a yellow, and here also I'm going to put blue color. Okay, so now see that we have a box 1, box 2, box 3, red, yellow, blue. And now look at that, there is no gap between box 1 and box 2. There is no gap, right? The left side there is no gap. and right side of course there is a default is there, gap is there. So when you see that box 1 and box 2 there is no gap, okay, so that you can control using margin property. Okay, so margin property, how you can apply is, for example here I want to adjust, for example this yellow box I want to bring it down. So first one is we can apply, I'll go to the yellow box, margin, there are 4 properties there: margin left, right, top, bottom, and also shorthand property margin, that I will come tell you later. So for example I want to bring the yellow down, so top we can set as 20 pixel. So when I set 20 pixel, now see that the yellow color box is getting it's actually displayed 10 after 10 pixel margin here, so 20 pixel margin. The same way I want to move the yellow box to right side. So what you can do is margin, we can work on margin left property, you can say that 20 pixel. See the yellow color box is moved to right side because of margin left 20 pixel. So like this you can adjust. So what is the application of margin property? You can move the item, move the box to any place by using the margin property. Okay, similarly if I change this to 50 pixel, okay, so it's actually coming down, again coming down. Okay, so 20 pixel will practice. Okay, so in full screen it look like this. See, box 1, box 2, this is a margin top is actually 20 pixel, margin left is 20 pixel. Similarly margin bottom also we can apply. Margin bottom we can apply margin bottom. Now see the output in the right side. So margin bottom I want to apply some 15 pixel. Okay. Now see that for yellow color box, now we are giving a gap between box 1 and box 2 and box 2 and box 3. Small gap, you can see that bottom and top and left. So this is what margin property. Okay, so margin property you can write in this way, as well as you can write in shorthand property also you can write. Now let's see how to do shorthand. Okay, so you have, I'm going to comment this property. In shorthand if you want to write, okay, let's for example assume that this is 20. Okay, listen carefully, this is 20. Okay, this is 20, right? And one more thing, if you see that there is a gap between the browser border and the left border, the gap between left browser border and the top browser border, this is called default margin. This is called default margin that you can remove. If you want to remove, you have to use star universal selector and say that margin : 0 pixel. Okay, and save it. When you save it, see there is no more gap. Okay, so if you want to remove the gap between the browser window and the content, the div element, you have to make the margin 0 pixel for all the element. Okay, so this will reduce the gap. Okay, so what I am talking about is, instead of keeping margin hyphen top, margin hyphen left, margin hyphen bottom, we can use a shorthand property called margin 20 pixel. So if I apply 20 pixel, okay, so the yellow color box, see the 20 pixel is applied to top, left, bottom and right side. Also right side also applied. Okay, 20 pixel is applied to top, bottom, right, left and right, all 4 sides it's applied. So this is called the shorthand property. Shorthand property of margin. Okay, so any doubts? Do you understand now how to work on margin? So do you have any doubts? Okay, so when you use margin : 20 pixel, it will apply, this value will be applied to all the sides. Okay, listen carefully, all the sides it will be applied. Okay, but of course I want to apply 20 pixel for some side and another 20 pixel, another 15 pixel for some other side. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to one way is I can use this margin top. Margin top I can give 15 pixel, margin left I can give 100 pixel. So different sizes if you want to give, you have to go for this margin top, left, bottom. But of course using shorthand property also we can give different values. For example 20 pixel I am giving, we can give 15 pixel like this. Okay, now how it will be starting is, always it will start from top, always it will start from top. Okay, so top will be getting, listen carefully, top will be getting 20 pixel. The next value is right. So I told the clockwise direction. Okay, clockwise direction you have to understand here. Okay, start from top is 20 pixel, and the next is actually what is the property, 15 will be applied to which side? Fifteen is applied to which side? Right or left or bottom? I told no, it start from top, clockwise direction. You have to take clockwise direction. So after top, what is the clockwise direction? Yes, right. Okay, so this 15 pixel is coming to right side. So now one more question, if I am okay, it is right. There is no other value for left and bottom. Okay, so here we have only two values, right? So what about left and right? Left and right. So here there is a rule. Okay, rule means like if you are giving two values, first is applied to top, the next is applied to right. Okay, then the same will be applied to the opposite side. For example, for bottom 20 pixel is applied, and for the opposite side of right is left side, right? So the opposite side of right side, left side is, the right side is left side, you will be getting the same thing. Okay, so left will be applied 15 pixel, and bottom will be applied how much? 20 pixel. Bottom will get the same size at the top, opposite side will be applied. Okay, so if you apply two values, similarly we can apply four values also, we can apply four values. Okay, so now see that here 20 pixel is applied to top, and left side is 15 pixel automatically coming, left side, bottom is 20 pixel. Okay, so in the slide we can see that. So there are four ways you can set margin values in pixels. Okay, single value means it will apply to all sides, top, right, bottom and left. Double means first value will apply to top and bottom, second value is applied to right and left. If you are giving three values, we can also give three values. For example, like this, instead of like this, I am giving 8 pixel for one more value. So this is top, right, bottom. So for left will be which value? For left side, what is the value? What is the pixel value will be for left side? Same rule. See that first value is applied to top, second to right, third is to bottom, and for the left the second value is applied. Why second value? The right side value is coming to the opposite side, right? So for the left side you will be getting second value is applied. Okay, so that you have to understand. Okay, and if you are giving four values, every value is applied to the particular side, starts from top, right, bottom, and the last one is left is applied. Okay, the same rule is applicable for border, already we discussed, and padding also is applied. Okay, so now we are coming to the move on to the example is given here. Okay, so this is a single value, how it is applied. Okay, and moreover here also I'll show you that inspect. See, look at the inspect. When I click inspect element, and see that the box model property how it is placed. Okay, so I'll select the first one, the box model, there is no margin is applied, but second box, look at that, margin is applied, 20 pixel 20 pixel is top, 20 pixel is bottom, left side is 15, right side is 15. Can you see it? Left side and right side is 15 margin. So this is what margin. Okay, if you select here the highlighting, right, so this area is called as a margin. So you have to understand. Okay, then you can see here how we can apply margin single value, 10 pixel is applied to all the sides. If you are giving two values, top and right, bottom will take the 10 pixel and left will be 20 pixel. Okay, and if you are giving okay, three values, this is not three. If you are giving three values, 10 pixel is top, right, bottom, and for left side you will get 20 pixel. The second value is applied for left side, 20 pixel. See, so you have to just go through this. Okay, I think here also I didn't change the title. Okay, so title is 4 values. Okay, next last one is a padding properties. Okay, how to apply padding? So padding is actually very simple, the space between the content and the border. Okay, for example, look at that, here I have a div box with one paragraph. Okay, with one paragraph is given. So here when you display the content, this is a border line, and here we can say padding left 40 pixel. So it means padding left for okay, so padding left 40 pixel means the space between the border line and the content. Okay, that is the space, that is called as that space is called as padding. Okay, the space between the border line and the content is called as the padding. So padding involves in four sides, left side, top side. Here also you can use that. So padding is actually similar to a margin, but it is coming internal. Okay, internal space between the content and the borderline. Okay, so padding also we can give single value, double value, 3 values, 4 values we can give. Okay, so it will apply it according to the rules. Okay, so last one is when you say padding, when you set padding increase the width and height of the box. To prevent this default behavior, we have to use box sizing property. Okay, so what you have to do is, if you are using padding, you have, don't forget to use box sizing equal to border box. If you are not using box sizing equal to border box, the box size will increase, keep on increase depending on the padding value, because we are giving space inside box, right? So space inside box will increase the width and height of the box. Okay, so that's all about box model properties. Any doubt we can discuss now? You have any doubts? Just I will show you the padding, one small example padding. Here we are having a box 1, right? So in box 1 I'm going to give I'm going to give a paragraph. Okay, in box 1 I'm going to give a paragraph. So just give me 2 minutes, I'll just complete this. So paragraph I'll take it from Karunya's site. So there is a paragraph, content text is there. Okay, this paragraph I'm just copying this paragraph. I'll close this. Okay, see inside box 1 I'm keeping this paragraph. Okay, 2 times I'm copying. Okay, so now I'll save this. Just 1 time is enough. Okay, okay, so it's coming like this. Okay, it's coming like this. So we have to increase the width. So width we have to little bit we have to increase. See, okay, again I'll repeat. here in the box 1 I am putting the paragraph. The width we have to increase. Okay, width of the first box I am just increasing it. Instead of 300 pixel I will put 500 pixel. So, okay, so now it's coming like this. See, look at that, it's coming like this. And I'll remove this margin 0 pixel. This I'll, so okay, so now look at that. This is a box contains a text, this much text. Okay, got it. Now look at that, there is no gap in the left side, and the top also there is no gap. Okay, if you want to give that gap, okay, if you want to provide such space, okay, so what you have to do is we have to go for padding. So now let's see how to apply padding for this paragraph. So this paragraph is inside the B1 box, right? So this is a B1 box. So go here. What are the padding you want? Padding top. Padding top is equal to 20 pixel. I will go 20 pixel. Okay. Now if I save that, now look at that. You are getting 20 pixel gap here. The same way padding left.